Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today I will be making some candles, and I picked up these candle molds. One of the things I don't necessarily like about these is that not always is where the candle is going to be in the center of the mold itself. So you end up with one really thin area, then one really thick area, and that can make it lean, bend, do all kinds of funky things. That one's probably a little bit more centered than some of the other molds I've got. And that one, you can tell, likes to really tip over. So to keep that from happening, I like to get no less than 3 molds. That way you can set all 3 of them together and they will help hold each other up. Kind of like I've got this set right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I need to go ahead and make sure I can put my needle with my wicking all the way through there. So I'm going to, hopefully you can see this, I'm not sure if you can or not, but in the center of my mold I've got just a little bit of a dimple that I can see. So I'm going to use that marking point for where the center of the candle is going to be, not the center of my mold, because the candle is not really centered in the mold, so I have to find the center of where the candle is. And I can see it's right there, so I'm going to go ahead and just very, very carefully take my needle with my wicking and just find the center of that, push it all the way through. And then what's kind of cool about these molds is they've got an edge, so it makes it a lot easier to take the candle out. Also makes it a lot easier to reach down and grab that needle. I'm just going to pull my wicking all the way through. I'm going to take my clothespin. That will help keep that wick from sliding back out. Then I'm going to very carefully line up those edges and look down the center of my mold. If I've got my edge mismatched, it will show up on the inside and leave some pretty crazy indentations on the candle itself. So to avoid that, make sure you look down inside your candle and figure out if it's got an edge or not. And if it does, go ahead and fix that now. Looks like that might be okay. Now I'm going to take some extra string. I'm just going to go ahead and start wrapping it. This will help keep my edges of my molds closed, so when I pour my candle, the wax doesn't go absolutely everywhere. Kind of helps hold it together. And then this makes it nice because then I only have to puncture my candle mold once, and I have plenty of wicking left over to just, when I unmold my next candle, I can just pull some extra wick through and call it good. So this one is done. Now I got to do the other one the same way. And just give me a moment, I'll be back. Okay, I have got all 3 molds together. Now I'm just going to take some hair ties and band them. That way they stay together. Makes it so much easier to pour the candles when these don't wobble around on you. Now I'm going to make sure that they all hold up straight, that they support each other. I've got a good balance on everything. Make sure everything's nice and closed. There we go. One thing you can also do is kind of pull up on your wick a little bit. If there's any give in there, like that one, I pulled the clothespin up. You want to make sure that you go ahead and tighten that back up. That way your wick stays centered through the whole thing and everything holds up nice and tight. I've got my wax and my double boiler going on, so I'm going to go ahead and check it and see if it's about time to go ahead and start pouring my candles. Alright, so before you pour your candle, especially once you've had your pot of wax in a double boiler, wipe it off with a rag. That way you don't have any water that might be stuck to the outside of your wax pot drip into your candle, because that will make your candle explode. So that's not a good thing. So just move my clothespins off to the side. I'm going to do very carefully, but as quick as I can, try and pour the wax into my molds. And for obvious reasons, if you have spillage, having a tray underneath is quite helpful. Get that one filled. That one filled. I don't think I have enough wax in this pot. Just gonna grab my second pot. Wipe the water off. Oh, I did have just enough. Very cool. Okay then, I can set these to the side. And these pots get very, very hot, so wearing gloves is kind of handy. The wicks sometimes like to get stuck to the side, so once I get it poured, I take the wick and kind of swirl it around. That way, in case there's anything on the inside of the mold, I can get some of that hot wax back into the area to fill the spot that I pulled the wick off the side from. Helps avoid indents and things like that. Do the same thing here. Also, when you pull the wick up like that and kind of stir it around, if your wax is too hot, giving it a little stir with the wick on the inside helps it from getting sinkholes. I'm just going to wait a few minutes, let everything get solidified, then I'm going to recheck it. And if it looks like it's starting to sinkhole, then I can do a second pour with my hot wax and kind of fix the bottoms of my mold, because what appears to be the top of my mold is actually going to be the bottom of my candle. So the bottoms down here will be nice and flat for the top of the mold, so it'll look really pretty on the candle. But then the roughed up bottoms can actually be inserted in your candle holder and you won't see it. So that's the idea behind that. I check it and it's already starting to try and solidify. But you can see how it gets a little rough on the top. That's okay, because this is going to be the bottom of the candle. I know I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but that's just how I roll, I guess. That looks okay. This is going to need some attention. So if you do have a problem to where the top solidifies too fast and you can't do a re-pour, that's where taking a heat gun will be quite helpful. I'm just going to check it over the next few minutes. That one looks like it might be okay. I may heat gun this one. Nope, I can do an add back. An add back is where you add a little bit more wax. Okay. That looks okay. Check this one. That one's good. I don't need to do anything with that. That one I think I'm going to have to heat gun. This one I am definitely going to have to heat gun because the top is already hard. The center isn't. Oh, maybe I can break it up. Yep, I can break that one up and then do my add back. Hopefully that candle will be okay. And that one is good. So then I'm just going to let this sit, and after a couple hours when it's completely cooled, I'll go ahead and unmold it. These have been curing now for about 24 hours, so overnight. I went ahead and stuck them in the fridge so that they'd solidify a little bit better. I'm just going to go ahead and start pulling that wicking apart. And this really does help hold everything together nice. Just got to go ahead and unwind it all. And sometimes if you do have spillage, the wax likes to hold on to the wick, so what you can do is just hold it in your hands and just kind of pull all the little wax chips off. And you can actually remelt those and use them again. And it's not a problem at all. And there you go. Now you have some string that you can use to help pull some more wicking through. I'm going to set this aside. Take my clip off. I'm just going to open this up and just take a good look at it. Put my clip there. So this is going to be my candle top, so I still do need to prime my wick. I'm going to look at it. There I've got a little bit of an edge where the side of my mold did not line up. That's totally okay. Sometimes if you get too much of an indentation like that, you can remelt your candle, and that's just fine. I am going to go ahead and first of all, I'm going to take my knife. Just going to go ahead and very, very carefully trim that end. And again, I can remelt all of those little wax chips. Make sure I get it to where it's nice and cleaned up. Then you can take your nail clippers and clip that wick off right at the base of your candle. And then you're good to go. Then you just need to take your extra wicking, make sure everything's lined up on the inside. Then you can go ahead and rewrap. And then your candle mold will be ready for the next round. So I have 3 candles here, and these have a couple little sinkholes in them. So this is why I usually like to keep the top of my mold as the bottom of my candle, because you can get some abnormalities and indentations in them. So again, just trimming off the bottoms really makes that nice. And then the bottom of your mold would be the top of your candle, and it just has a little bit more of a finished look. So what I'm going to do now is I need to prime my wicks. I don't need my wicks to be very long. I'm just going to go ahead and just dip the tips of my wick into the melted wax. Then once it's well coated, I'll give it a twist with my fingers and pull any excess off. And then trim my wick to 1/4 of an inch. And that's all you have to do to make these candles ready to use, and they should work for you just perfectly. So currently I have these 2 candles available. I have this tapered candle, the diamond one for the candlestick, and I also offer these Easter Island head candles, which are super cool. So if you like these candles, you can join or follow along on my Facebook page under Basic Homesteading and Survival, and you can order your own candles there if you'd like to. And again, if you like this video, please come back for more tips and tricks later on. Bye now.